Hey, welcome to this very special episode of Seduction Tech. And I have someone very special, obviously, because that's why the episode is special. I have Franziska in Spanish. If you want to get really passionate, Franziska.
I want that.
You like the Franziska. You take it wherever you want to take it. If you can speak another language, it might be other ways. But she's a relationships expert, a relationship coach, someone that I found through Substack. And I was, like stuff gets kind of in the timeline, and you read one thing and you read another thing, and then you just start. And I started seeing your stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is everything that you were saying was so hard hitting, and it was so amazing that I was like, who is this? So I had to subscribe. And then here we are, because I was like, I need to talk to you. I need to pick your brain. So how are you, Franziska? Tell me a little bit about you and what you do.
So I'm good. Thank you. And thank you for that very lovely introduction. I really like it. So as you said, I'm a coach for men in the realm of relationships. So I help men decode women or their women and, kind of use that as a compass to step into their, rooted masculinity where they feel in their power and they are the most attractive to women. So this is what I do. And I'm a mom of 3, if this is, interesting.
You're a mom of 3? And you do all of this too? Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of work.
It is. That's a lot. But I like it.
Yeah, no, but yes. And at some point it's kind of like, it shows your resiliency, right? Because you could easily just kind of give up and just be a mom of 3, right? And you're still looking to doing something more. Like you can't just sit there. You got to do something more. So that says a lot about you. So
it really is my passion. So
that's great. And especially with men, we don't really like to ask for help when it comes to relationships. We feel like we're born knowing it all. Even as a teenager, even though we know nothing, we never admit that we don't know anything, and we go through life just learning the hard way and never learning. So I think what the information that you give already, and also I'm sure that your coaching sessions can really help a man really man up, like really get the perspective of a woman from a woman's perspective and learn that way. Do you feel like the clients that you get, how do they get to you? Do they already come like kind of broken, like I can't take it anymore? Or are there men that are good and they just want to be better?
It's mostly that. So they have issues, or they have a woman that they desperately want to have. And so they have some initiation point where they feel like they could use some help. And then they come, but it's usually there are men who know that their life is like the outcome of their life is connected to them. So it's their responsibility. And, and then they're already ready to look into the mirror, which is basically the main thing. And you said that you can't ask for help. And I know exactly what you mean. But also you're kind of made to do it that way, right? So you are trained to already know, and then you try to perform. And the funny thing is that the deeper you are willing to look into the mirror and to face yourself, the more you can grow. So what you deem as something weak or vulnerable is actually the biggest strength, because it gets you where you want to be then in the end. And it feels like a detour, but we have to do that. We can't just have it all, we have to do something for that. We have to work for that.
Wow. That's really deep. So in a lot of your stuff, you mentioned something that I've been trying to take into heart, and it's kind of, that performance is lost on women, right? Like, yeah. What does that mean? Because that really has mind boggle me, but what does it mean from your perspective?
Well, if you perform for a woman, like it doesn't appeal to her body, and you want to appeal to her body and her instincts. You want her to feel you in her body before you even touch her. So, and performance is actually like a way to manipulate her, because it's all about outcome. It's goal oriented and it's in the future. Whereas presence, and this is where you want to be present with her, is in that moment. And women are very much in the moment. Women are very feeling based. Of course they can think, that's not a question, but they're very feeling and nervous system based. So they need you to be in that moment with her. They need you to be present and not run away and not be like in the next thing. And of course they don't want to be manipulated by you. So that's why performance is lost on women. They also say, like, sexually, you can't really go deep then. You're so in that, also like, are you doing it right? And, like you're just with yourself, but you're not with her. And she wants you to be with her, like to have your attention on her.
Wow. So like just being present. Yeah, because I see what you mean then, that we're worried about the persona that we create or in a certain way, and we're thinking about what's my next move. So you're not really looking at what she's doing. You're looking at what you're going to do next. You're thinking of what am I going to do next? Not I'm going to respond to her now and whatever she's doing now.
Exactly.
So, wow. So hopefully we can, that's a big piece of key information there, because most men, I think that's another thing. We grow up having to become men, and even before we're ready, and we're these boys trying to act a certain way for our friends, for everybody around us. And we never get out of that. We always like in a performance mode. We can never let our guard down. So we're not paying attention to you. So when, they tell us, hey, you gotta be this interesting person for you, and we're acting and we're performing, what do you think will make the difference between someone that's interesting, that keeps your attention, being themselves, and someone that's boring? Because then if a man is not performing, is he boring or no?
No.
Tell me about that.
Why a man becomes boring? Because he doesn't allow for his edge to be there. So he kind of tries to please and to make others be comfortable. Because if like a man really rooted in masculinity, he makes other people uncomfortable. And we all are raised to be comfortable for other people, and it's kind of easy. So I'm kind of pleasing. And this is exactly what takes away your edge. And for men, it's in addition to that, most of you learned, at least from my perspective, you learned that your edge, your masculinity is dangerous. So you have to kind of stuff it away. And the narratives in society, they very much tell you that you're dangerous. And if you believe that, you soften your edges, but you need your edges. So it's often people say a safe man is a boring man. So she will either choose the safe one or the bad guy. And this is kind of the two variations we have, apparently, the nice guys and the assholes. But they are just two sides of the same coin, and they both act from fear in different ways. But a really safe man is also an exciting man, because what makes him safe is also that he's able to protect her. And in order to be able to protect her, he needs to be dangerous. So this is what you need. And we have all these stories around women and men. They're so false and so misleading. I'm sorry, I have a fly here. And it all gets into this narrative of women and men are just not compatible. We're just thrown on this planet, and now we have to procreate, and well, bam. But actually it's a perfect design. And if we understand it right, and we really need to stop believing the stories that we are told actually on a daily basis. So they're just false, mainly.
Well, so when you say dangerous, right? Because there's the animalistic side, like the biology of danger. Like, one wants to be, let's say, protected from wild animals or whatever
The
dangers
bear.
are. Or are there dangers of maybe economic dangers where like she doesn't want to feel stress over money or things like that? How do you see danger if you were to define it?
Well, any kind of danger, but I would say it like mostly in the primal sense. So I would say for a man, it's crucial to be able to fight, or even to be able to, well, for you, this is maybe more popular, but here in Germany, many men couldn't use a gun, And I think it's very hot in men if they can. But it comes down to being able to defend themselves and defend me in the end. So, and I think like martial arts are great for men, also like CrossFit, but everything that trains your body and your spirit for this warrior, that's just great. And this is what many men are missing nowadays in the Western societies. So I think it might differ a bit between the US and Germany, but not so much, probably.
Wow, that's deep. So guys, let me write that down. Sign up for karate class. No, but I see exactly what you mean. Like you actually, even as men, you want to be around other men that are ready for anything, right? Like you don't, you're not just, I see the women, the seductive part of that, but as a man, you feel better with men that are at a certain caliber that if something happens, we're all going to fight.
Yeah.
And that you don't want to be around weak men either. So I think for poor weak men that, no one wants to be around you. But I think that's just